Okay, so when you close your eyes and picture Portugal, what comes to mind? Probably sun-drenched beaches, right?
Yeah.
Terracotta roofs, maybe that coastal breeze. That's the postcard image, isn't it?
It usually is, yeah.
But what if I told you that, beneath that familiar picture, Portugal actually has one of the most incredibly diverse climates in Europe?
It's absolutely true. That popular image, well, it barely scratches the surface. Portugal is really far from being just one climate type. Understanding that diversity is, I think, really key.
Exactly. And that's precisely our mission today. We're doing a deep dive into a really comprehensive guide on Portugal's climate. Our goal is basically to map out the regional variations, the seasonal shifts, and crucially, how climate impacts, well, everything, from your property choices to just your daily rhythm. By the end, hopefully, you'll feel genuinely well informed for any exploration or maybe even relocation plans you might have.
Right. So looking at the big picture, Portugal's location in southwestern Europe is pretty privileged. It gives it mostly a Mediterranean climate. And this offers a remarkable balance of seasonal variety, but also mild temperatures overall. The official figures from IPMA, the Portuguese Institute for the Sea and Atmosphere, they really highlight this. Mainland Portugal averages a comfortable annual minimum of about 10 degrees Celsius.
Which is 50 Fahrenheit.
Right, 50 F, and an average maximum of 21 Celsius, or 70 Fahrenheit.
That sounds like a great baseline, really comfortable. But what's actually shaping these patterns? Is it just the location?
Well, that leads to something important, the underlying influences. What really sculpts the weather in Portugal is this interplay of different air currents sweeping across Europe. You get cold, dry air coming down from the north in winter, gives you those crisp, clear days. And then warm, humid currents pushing up from the south, especially in summer. So it's this constant dance of air masses combined with things like latitude, altitude, and critically, the Atlantic Ocean. That's what creates such, unique microclimates across Portugal.
The Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic's moderating influence, it stops the temperatures getting too extreme, and that effect actually pushes about 40 kilometers inland. It's a really powerful natural buffer.
Wow, 40 kilometers. That Atlantic buffer sounds incredibly important then, but how does that play out across the mainland itself? You mentioned four distinct climate zones. Where should we start?
Okay, let's begin up north. Along the coast, in what we call the maritime Mediterranean zone, think places like Porto. Here, you'll notice pretty minimal changes in temperature through the year. Summers are warm, averaging around 25 Celsius, which is 77 Fahrenheit.
Not excessively hot, you mean?
Exactly, not usually scorching. And winters are mild, rarely dropping below 5 Celsius or 41 Fahrenheit. But, and this is key, it's also characterized by high humidity and quite substantial rainfall, especially October to March.
Right. So perfect for people who love those really vibrant green landscapes.
Definitely.
But that consistent moisture, it's not just about pretty scenery, is it? It sounds like it means you need to think about your property differently.
That's a really key point. The lushness is undeniable, yes. But a crucial insight here is how that dampness affects practical things. You'll find yourself thinking about ventilation, maybe dehumidifiers, damp prevention, much more than you might expect just looking at the green hills. It's often overlooked.
Okay, good tip. So moving inland from that northern coast, you hit the northern interior. And this shifts dramatically, you said, to a continental Mediterranean climate, like Braganza.
Exactly. Big difference. Here, you get significant temperature variations between seasons. Much bigger swings. Summers are hot and dry, can easily reach 35 Celsius, 95 Fahrenheit, sometimes higher. While winters are cold, temperatures can dip below freezing occasionally, and yeah, you can even get snowfall.
All right.
And the annual rainfall is lower here compared to the coast.
So the practical side of that is, this area really suits people who genuinely enjoy having distinct seasons and don't mind the extremes.
Pretty much. The dramatic seasonal shifts create some truly stunning landscapes, snow-capped mountains in winter, golden fields in summer. But yeah, it does mean you need a wider range of clothes, and you definitely need to think about both heating and cooling your home properly.
Okay. And then we go up into the mountain regions, where you find something more like an alpine climate. Serra da Estrela, for example.
That's right. Higher altitudes change things again. Here, summers are cool and humid, averaging maybe around 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit, but winters are harsh. Regular snowfall, high precipitation levels overall, and naturally the temperature drops significantly as you go higher up.
So this really appeals to a specific group then. People seeking cooler climates, maybe winter sports fans.
Exactly. It's a niche market, you could say. It's a very different lifestyle from the rest of Portugal, and homes there absolutely need robust insulation and heating.
Got it. And finally, we arrive at what most people probably picture first, southern Portugal, particularly the Algarve, the classic Mediterranean climate.
This is it. Long, hot summers. Temperatures often going over 30 Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit. Winters are mild, relatively dry, averaging around 15 Celsius or 59 Fahrenheit. And you're talking extended dry periods, like 5 or 6 months long. Very little rain, concentrated mostly in winter.
And with sunshine hours.
Oh, huge. Over 3,000 hours of sunshine annually in the Algarve alone.
Wow.
So for the sun seekers, yeah, the Algarve is definitely iconic. But the real insight, I think, for people planning to live there long term is understanding how that long dry spell impacts everything. Things like water conservation become really important. What kind of garden can you realistically have without constant watering? It shapes a whole rhythm of daily life down there.
That makes sense. Okay, so now we have a solid handle on the regional zones. Let's look at the seasonal rhythms, because understanding these variations helps so much with planning and adapting, right? Let's start with spring, March to May. This really feels like nature waking up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lovely transition. Temperatures typically, 15 to 22 Celsius?
Yeah.
59 to 72 Fahrenheit. Moderate rain that eases off as summer gets closer, and sunshine increasing maybe 6 to 8 hours daily.
That's a good summary. And it's not uniform across the country, which is what makes exploring in spring so fascinating. The south warms up earlier, definitely. While the mountain areas can stay cool for longer, sometimes you still see snow patches. This makes spring, well, pretty ideal for getting out and exploring. House hunting, too, properties often look their best. And if you like gardening, it's a fantastic time before the real summer heat kicks in.
Okay, then comes summer, June to August. The Mediterranean at its most vibrant, you could say. A real outdoor paradise.
Definitely.
Temperatures typically 25 to 35 Celsius, 77 to 95 Fahrenheit. But inland, you said, can hit 40 Celsius.
Easily. 104 Fahrenheit. Yeah, the interior gets properly hot.
And rainfall is minimal to non-existent. Sunshine. Loads of it, 10 to 12 hours daily.
Glorious sunshine.
But even in the height of summer, that Atlantic water can still be pretty chilly, can't it?
Ha, yes. That's often a surprise for people, expecting Mediterranean bathwater temperatures.
And getting a shock.
Exactly. But, looking more broadly, those coastal areas really benefit from the cooling Atlantic breezes, sometimes called the nortada, the northerly wind. It's like natural air conditioning.
Right.
And summer is peak season for festivals, cultural events. You'll find expats quickly adapt to the Portuguese summer rhythm. Afternoon siestas become appealing. Socializing happens later in the evening when it cools down.
Makes sense. Okay, moving into autumn. September to November, often described as harvest season, beautiful time of year. For many people, this is actually the most comfortable weather for living there year-round.
I'd agree with that. Many people feel that way.
Temperatures, maybe 18 to 25 Celsius, 64 to 77 F early on. Cooling down to 12 to 18, 54, 64 F by November. Rainfall gradually picks up, but still decent sunshine, 6 to 8 hours.
That sounds about right. And it's worth noting, the southern regions, like the Algarve, often keep those summer-like conditions going well into October.
Ah, okay. I hear this is actually the most popular time for people to actually make the move to Portugal. Why is that, do you think?
Well, the comfortable weather helps with the logistics, for sure. It's also ideal for exploring places like the wine regions during the harvest. But practically speaking, your energy costs stay low. You generally don't need significant heating or cooling yet, so it's kind of a sweet spot for settling in financially and comfort-wise.
Right, that makes sense. A smoother transition. And finally, winter. December to February. It offers a mild but variable feel. Definitely a relief from harsh northern European winters, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Temperatures generally around 8 to 15 Celsius, 46 to 59 Fahrenheit in most places.
Yeah.
Though below freezing in the mountains.
Yes, mountains are the exception.
And this is when Portugal gets most of its rain, especially December, January. Sunshine drops to maybe 4 or 6 hours.
Correct. Highest rainfall then. But a crucial thing here is the stark regional differences in winter. The north gets significant rain, sometimes frost, while the Algarve can feel remarkably spring-like, even in January.
Big difference.
Huge. And central heating becomes pretty much necessary in northern and interior homes, which can lead to issues like increased humidity in older properties and definitely higher energy bills. But still, overall, it's notably milder than many places. You can still have a surprising amount of outdoor life, just maybe bundled up more. It's more about embracing the cozy season, perhaps. Rediscovering the joy of a good book by the fire, lingering in a local cafe. A different rhythm from the summer rush.
A different pace. Okay, so if the mainland is that diverse, Portugal's islands, the autonomous regions, They offer completely different experiences again, don't they?
Totally different.
Let's talk about the Azores first, often called an oceanic climate paradise.
That's a perfect description, I think. They have incredible temperature stability, averages like 14 to 22 Celsius year-round. Very steady. You get frequent showers, but they're often brief. Consistently high humidity, though, around 80%. And regular Atlantic breezes. There's minimal seasonal variation. People often say you can experience 4 seasons in one day.
Right.
So this climate really appeals to those who like consistency, no real extremes. And it supports amazing biodiversity.
But for living there.
Right. If you're considering moving there, you absolutely need to be aware of the implications of that high humidity and the changeable weather. Housing adaptations are key. Excellent ventilation is a must, maybe dehumidifiers, to prevent issues like mold.
Good point. Okay, then there's Madeira. Subtropical island climate, you said.
Yes. Here, the temperature range is roughly 16 to 26 Celsius throughout the year, a bit warmer than the Azores, maybe a touch more variation. The north coast generally gets more rain than the south, and because it's so mountainous, you find these dramatic microclimates just short distances apart.
Interesting. Sunshine hours.
Generally around 2,000 to 2,500 annually, less than the Algarve, but still plenty. Something remarkable about Madeira is why it often gets called eternal spring, especially on the south coast around Funchal.
Eternal spring, nice.
It makes it ideal for year-round outdoor activities, agriculture too. It offers really stable, pleasant weather without the mainland's extremes, very attractive for people seeking constant mildness.
Okay, this is incredibly helpful context. So with all that in mind, let's bring it back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
How do these climate factors really impact your life if you move to Portugal? First, choosing your region based on climate preference. Let's quickly recap. Porto on the northern coast, greenest landscapes, 1,200 to 1,500 millimeters of rain annually, temps rarely below 5°C or above 30°C, high humidity, 70–85%.
Right. Best for those who love gardening, lush scenery, and don't mind regular rain. And remember, properties there often benefit from covered outdoor areas as good drainage. That's crucial.
Okay, Lisbon and the Central Coast, more balanced climate, 700 to 800 millimeter rainfall, mostly in winter. Average temps 10–28°C, around 2,800 sunshine hours.
Yeah, this is a great all-rounder, maybe. Good for city life, pleasant weather. You still get seasons, but without the harsh extremes you find further inland.
Then the interior regions, continental extremes. Rainfall varies, 401 to 1,000 millimeter, depending on location. Temperature range can be huge, maybe -5°C up to 40°C. Sunshine, 2,500, 2,800 hours.
These areas often attract people looking for more affordable property and those who genuinely enjoy dramatic, distinct seasons. But you definitely need to be proactive about heating and cooling your home. It's a must.
And finally, the Algarve. Sunniest region, 400, 500 millimeter rain, mostly no Feb, rarely drops below 10°C, summer peaks around 30°C, and over 3,000 sunshine hours.
Unequivocally, this is the spot for consistent sunshine and outdoor lifestyle, and yes, significantly lower heating costs. It's as close as you get to a perpetual summer in Portugal.
Okay. So beyond just choosing the region, climate massively impacts property investment and how you need to adapt your home. Energy efficiency, for instance. The north really needs good insulation, humidity control methods, maybe those covered outdoor spaces, double glazing, central heating.
Absolutely.
Right.
Whereas the south benefits more from designing for natural ventilation, having shade structures, maybe cooling features like pools, and definitely optimizing for solar panels. Heating needs are minimal. The focus shifts entirely to staying cool efficiently.
These are really crucial things for budgeting and just day-to-day comfort, aren't they?
Huge considerations.
And maintenance shifts, too. Wet climates north, central coast, demand regular gutter cleaning, maybe annual roof checks to stop leaks, keeping an eye on indoor humidity.
Definitely. In contrast, dry climates south, interior, you're looking at year-round pool maintenance if you have one, managing irrigation systems for gardens, and critically, fire prevention measures around your property in summer. These aren't optional tasks, they're essential.
And thinking longer term, climate change is undeniably a factor, isn't it? Portugal is seeing trends like increasing average temperatures.
Yeah, more frequent extreme weather events too, changing rainfall patterns, longer fire seasons, especially inland.
And rising sea levels impacting coastal properties.
Right. Which brings up a really important point for anyone buying property adaptation. Things like enhanced insulation, investing in renewables like solar, better water conservation methods, using fire-resistant landscaping, maybe even flood mitigation in certain areas.
Yeah.
These are all becoming more and more important for long-term value and just living comfortably.
So how do you adapt your actual lifestyle to Portuguese weather? Wardrobe seems like a big obvious one.
It is.
Northern Portugal. You need proper rain gear, layers are key, waterproof shoes, a warm coat for winter.
Definitely. Southern Portugal, on the other hand, High-quality sunglasses, hats become essential, lots of breathable fabrics for summer, and swimwear for a beach season that lasts for months. You'll find you need very little heavy clothing, even in winter.
And what about health and wellness adjustments?
Also important, coastal areas, managing that humidity is key, especially in older homes. So good ventilation, maybe dehumidifiers. Southern regions, it's all about sun protection. Daily SPF is non-negotiable, avoiding being out in the midday sun during summer, staying really well hydrated. And maybe for those in the north, during winter, with fewer sunshine hours, things like light therapy boxes or vitamin D supplements could be beneficial for some people.
Right. Finally, lifestyle rhythms. You mentioned siestas.
Yeah, in summer, especially in the hotter regions, embracing that culture makes sense. Shifting strenuous activities to early morning or late evening when it's cooler.
And winter?
Winter, the focus kind of shifts inward, doesn't it? Creating cozy indoor spaces, maybe exploring museums, cultural activities. The key, I think, is to truly appreciate and adapt to these seasonal variations rather than trying to fight them. It completely transforms how you experience the year.
That's a great way to put it. And just touching on some common surprises we hear about from expats,
Yeah,
things people maybe didn't expect.
yeah, there are a few common ones.
The Atlantic Ocean being surprisingly cool year-round, even down south.
No.
Catches swimmers out.
Definitely. The sheer intensity of the summer heat in the interior can also be a shock if you're not prepared.
The amount of rainfall in the north during winter can surprise people too, right?
Oh, yes. And humidity levels near the coast affecting homes more than expected, that dampness issue again, if it's not managed.
And how quickly microclimates can change the weather over short distances.
Remarkable, isn't it? You can drive 20 minutes and be in totally different conditions.
And maybe one of the biggest ones for people coming from countries with standard central heating, how cold it can feel indoors in older Portuguese properties in winter if they lack proper heating systems.
That's a big one. It really underscores the need to properly research and understand what you're stepping into before you commit, especially when choosing a property.
It certainly does. Okay, so wrapping this all up,
Mm.
what does this mean for you, the listener? Portugal's incredibly diverse climate genuinely seems to offer something for almost every preference. Whether you crave that constant sunshine, or you prefer dramatic seasons, or maybe the stability of an oceanic climate.
It's all there. But the real takeaway, I think, isn't about finding perfect weather. Because let's be honest, no single place offers that year-round perfection for everyone. Instead, it's about choosing a climate that genuinely aligns with your personal preferences, what you find comfortable, and then preparing appropriately for its specific characteristics. It's about finding your Portugal, the one that fits you best.
I really like that, finding your Portugal. And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with, something that really brings this all together. While adapting to a new climate definitely takes time, people often say it takes a good year or two to truly settle in and adjust.
That sounds about right.
Many expats find that after that initial period, they genuinely start wondering how they ever lived anywhere else. They discover this really deep, satisfying connection to the rhythms of their chosen Portuguese climate.
It becomes part of their life.
Exactly. So maybe consider how that subtle adaptation, that tuning in to nature's tempo, might just reshape your entire pace of life in ways you hadn't even imagined.